Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast with Core4 Complete Fitness. Your episode is starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Happy May 22nd. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. We got a good one for you today. Now, like always, before we get going, if you could please do us a favor and subscribe to this podcast on any platform that you're watching or listening to, whether it's on YouTube, Audible, Spotify, iTunes, all the major ones are on there. If you could just press the little subscribe button, that'll bump us up the charts and we can help spread this message to other people that need to hear it. And also, guys, share it with somebody, share it with a friend. If you have somebody that knows has questions, or they're trying to get in shape, or you're trying to get in shape with somebody, the more people that hear it, the better off that they'll do and you'll do, and which is the reason why we put this podcast out in the first place, is to help you guys and help other people. So if you could share it and subscribe, that will help us out dearly. Now, today, we are going over probably one of maybe the most confusing yet misunderstood things in the health and fitness industry, and that is supplements. Now, just like every podcast, we always close it out with core4supplements.com. But for a lot of people, I think the majority of people think supplements are there to kind of undo or pick up the slack where they're slacking, and there's some truth to that. But think of supplements, guys, just like the word implies. It's there to fill in the gaps with the things that you might need a little bit of help on. They're not the be-all, end-all fitness solution to stuff, right? So you can't go, well, I'm going to go to Mickey D's and I'm going to order a pizza and I'm going to go out and have drinks, but I'm going to have 4 protein shakes the next day and it'll all regulate itself. It doesn't work like that. Now, if you're getting to the gym 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week, your diet's clean, and you go, hey, I need just a little bit of a supercharge, whether it be a pre-workout, whether it be a protein shake. That is the goal of supplements, guys, is to kind of fill in those cracks where you might have missed a couple things, or you can kind of tweak it up a little bit. So, we've said it before on this podcast, the magic pill to getting in shape all starts with you. So it's not like you can work out once a day, but then take a protein shake every day and you're magically going to see results. You still got to get to the gym. You still got to eat a somewhat balanced diet. And the supplements are there to kind of help you move along with your progress. But I think for a lot of people, they go, oh, well, I am eating like crap all week, so I'll take a fat burner. Or I missed the gym 4 times, so I'll take this supplement. Or I didn't get any sleep, so I'll take pre-workout every day and just hammer through these workouts. Remember, guys, the supplements are there to kind of hold your hand through the process for what you're not getting in through your diet. But the diet is the thing that plays the key role with that, is making sure you're getting in your nutrition, your protein, you're eating relatively healthy, and then you're like, okay, I need a little bit of help on my greens, so I'm going to take a daily green supplement because I know maybe you just get a side of broccoli at dinner, or you have a lettuce wrap for lunch, and you know that can be kind of fine-tuned a little bit. And I hope that makes sense to you guys. It's the biggest misconception people have probably with supplements, that it's the be-all, end-all to get in shape. But remember, that's probably the thing that is going to get you close to that 100% optimization. Is like, think of it like 10 to 20% supplementation. The other 80 to 90% is through actual nutrition, diet, and exercise.
Yeah, and we were talking before this started how I'm not necessarily the most I know the basics about, what whey protein versus casein protein, all the stuff like that, but as far as all the supplements, I'm always kind of learning. I don't know that much about all of them and what they do, but the way I've looked at it is view it as like extra credit. If you're taking supplements, BCAAs or joint support or any type of thing, if you go to school and only do the extra credit, you're going to fail. It's not enough. You still have to do the work, but you can bump that 80 to a 90 by adding the extra credit, right? If so, but you still need to do the 80, which is just what you said. But it's kind of a more of a, it's always been the way that I thought about it. And I remember, the biggest supplement that I take and have been taking for years consistently is whey protein. If you consider that a supplement, which it is, right? But that's not the source of my protein. And anytime somebody comes in, or we do a shred, or we do a different program and we help people on nutrition, that's always the biggest question is they go, well, can I just have 4 or 5 shakes a day and have it be my protein intake? It's like, I mean, technically, yeah, you could, but you're not going to feel good. We still have rules. We still need to eat food, and so, like, we always need to kind of blur the line of the numbers and treating ourselves like math equations. Like, if I get 180 grams of protein, doesn't matter how I get it, as long as I get it. It's like, well, you also still are a human being. You need to do things that make you feel.
You need real food.
Yeah, you gotta feel good. You need to. Yeah, so because all the variables that come into it. If you only live off of shakes, your energy is going to be horrible. You're going to be more inclined to skip the gym. When you do go to the gym, you're going to challenge yourself less. And we know that the challenging reps and pushing harder and pushing through that threshold is where the growth actually happens. It's where the muscle breaks down, so the muscle repairs. It's where you actually benefit. It's not from the first 5 minutes of the workout. It's from the last 5 minutes of the workout. So
yeah,
you're not going to get to that last 5 minutes consistently if you're a zombie walking around, but you're like, well, I'm staying under my calories. So we always need to be mindful of that. And it's that comes from doing the work the right way, eating the right foods, sleep, stress management, all of the stuff that is important for us. And then, yeah, if you want to bring, your 75 average up to an 80 average, add some extra credit, add some BCA. You'll be surprised with how much better you feel just by a hydration supplement is always great. If you are always drinking water, and you're just kind of sick of it, you can replace one of them or two of them for one hydration mix, and you get a whole bunch of, salts and amino acids and all of the interesting and important things that are good for us, while still hydrating. But you can't just have one of those a day and not water, right?
yeah,
It's the same. It's kind of the same basis. It's like, it's just the extra credit. It's just gonna bump you from the 75 to an 80. But if it's all you're doing, you're gonna be running on a 5% in that example.
yeah. And I think too, with like the electrolyte supplements and the minerals and things like that, it's a double-edged sword because you obviously want to hydrate. You want to take water in because your body needs it to just feel good, for your brain to function, for your body to function. But just like anything, it goes into your mouth through your belly and it comes out of the other side. And if you're only drinking water, granted, you're going to pee a lot of that out. So the minerals and the electrolyte supplements are good because it helps your body actually hold on to some of that water and retain it. We lose a lot of water, obviously, when we sweat, when we perspirate, when we work out. And you're still going to hold on to a little bit through water, but those electrolyte supplements do help just with the extra salt, with the extra minerals, all the things that you lose through your sweat, kind of keep that inside of your body so you don't have this weird imbalance of minerals inside. If you are going for a hydration supplement, guys, obviously use core4supplements.com. Just kidding. But if you want it, we have it on our website. We have a hydration supplement. But look for no sugar or as low sugar as you can possibly get, and 0 to lowest carbohydrates that you can get as well. I know that things like Gatorades and stuff, if you're 17, 18, 19 years old and you got a double header at baseball and you're going and your diet maybe isn't as squeaky clean as it should be because you're young, you can probably get by with the Gatorade and be okay. But you don't want to be the person that's slamming 2-3 giant Gatorades a day. You're getting a ton of extra sugar that your body doesn't need, a ton of extra calories that your body doesn't need. So just make sure on the calorie bar and the sugar bar that it's nice and low, preferably at 0. There's a good one that we have at our house called Ultima, I think. And same thing. It just looks like a Gatorade pack, and I think the Core 4 supplement one is around the same values. But zero sugar, zero carbs, zero calories. You can just dump it in your water when you need a little change of pace, and that'll actually help you hold on to water. Um, Now, the other one, in regards to protein shakes, this is probably the biggest one people get hung up on. Just like Evan said, your body actually needs real food to keep it going too. And depending on what kind of protein shake you take, whey protein is completely fine to take. If you like it and it tolerates well, then you can totally take it. But ideally, I tell people no more than 2 a day. Reason being, you still want to fill up on food. And sometimes the lactose inside of the whey protein can cause bloating, it can cause inflammation, and kind of have like an opposite effect if all you're doing is slamming protein shakes left and right. Ideally, guys, the whey protein absorbs really, really quick into your muscles, which is great for after a workout. I always say think of like your muscles are like this like headband or cloth. And when you work out, you wring it out completely, and all that water leaves and it's exhausted. That protein breaks down and it goes in to fill it right back up again and help repair it. So ideally after a workout, if you have another one midday or something, that's completely fine too. But again, just be cognizant of the calorie content, the carbs, and always try to get about at least 20 grams of protein inside of your protein shake. You can exceed that if you want to, but that's kind of my rule of thumb with it is ideally after a workout, if you need one more midday, that's okay. But just try if you are getting into the habit of having 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're bloated and your belly hurts and you can't figure out what the heck's going on, back down those protein shakes so that way you're not getting all that lactose buildup inside your gut.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's just, at some point, you just got to listen to your body, right? And be like, oh, I'm a human being. This isn't the way that I work. This isn't the
I
way
feel like shit. Yeah.
this isn't the way. I'm not supposed to just drink all of my food. I am actually supposed to eat. But what's interesting to like kind of piggyback on that a little bit and go for with every single supplement is they're all things that are naturally found, right? It's just a source to kind of expedite the process and quickly get it to you for people that are in a pinch, like a green supplement. It's for people who aren't cooking and eating that many vegetables throughout their day. But it doesn't mean that they should never have vegetables and fruit and they should only have this instead. It's like, it just kind of goes to show that you can fully live your life without supplements in theory. It's just a lot harder. There's a lot more time consumption, and they have been made, and the supplement markets and all this stuff have grown in response to people being busy and not being able to um, get things quickly, right? So like all the electrolyte and hydration things and the minerals and stuff, like
Can you hold your camera steady, Ev? You're like
I always do that. I'm sorry.
twitching. There you go.
When we do like all the minerals, electrolytes, and things like that, it's like all that stuff can be found in like bananas. Like people who cramp and they're like, well, I need a hydration thing. It's because I had right. You do need to be hydrated more, but like if you had a banana every day, it would limit this too because of potassium and all that. So I think some people kind of think that sometimes that or get confused when they see supplements. They go, "Oh, this is new. This is something new for my body that we've created in a laboratory that is good for us." It's like, no, all of this stuff is found in natural ways around us. It's not found in Cheez-Its. It's not found in Skittles. It's found in the real people food that we're
Yeah.
supposed to be eating. It's just been siphoned off into a very consumable spot, which is fine to use, but it needs to be, it's just the mindset of it. And that kind of goes back with that extra credit thing that I said earlier. It's like, yeah, or start implementing bananas to your day every day,
Yeah.
if you want to. And then another thing that I think people, myself included, it's the quick response, right? We want the fast results. You need to take things. It's like kind of like a medication. If you've ever been on a medication, it takes 2-3 weeks to kind of get into your system and actually feel the effects of it. If you don't, there's stuff like a pre-workout, like, yeah, you take it and all of a sudden you're buzzing and you're like, okay, I'm going. But if you are taking like a joint supplement, or collagen powder is a very popular one, and you're like, well, I'm taking this because it's supposed to be good for my joints and my teeth and my eyes, and also it's more protein and it's flavorless and it's easy to add to shake. It's like you got to give yourself probably a month or two to start to feel and see the effects of whatever. Same with greens, same with anything that you implement. Give it time and slow down and hone in and listen to your body and see how your body is responding, and go, okay, this is actually really benefiting me, or this is no difference at all. Instead of doing this, I'm going to do this. Instead of doing that, I'm going to do that. I really like this. I'm going to do more of this. And then you kind of adjust and grow. But it's a slow play. It takes time.
Yeah. The other big one, guys, that I wanted to touch on was whey protein. Obviously, that's probably the most common supplement that people take. The other one that people get confused about is BCAAs, or branched chain amino acids. And think of your BCAAs, I'll call it that for short because it's a long name, as they're in a lot of our protein sources, whether it's steak, whether it's ground beef, whether it's chicken, whether it's turkey. All of them have this inside of it. And when you eat it and digest it, it breaks down into these amino acids. And eventually those go into your muscles and help repair themselves. Now, you can kind of like streamline that process, which is great for what the branched chain amino acid supplements are for, because it skips kind of the breakdown of food process and helps preserve your muscles, helps get rid of soreness quicker, helps repair them and recovery a little bit faster. But just like we touched on with the protein shakes, you still got to eat real food, right? So it's there to kind of fill in those gaps. It's not like you're just going to sip on a 0-calorie BCAA supplement and just show up jacked. You still got to eat real food, still focus on eating clean. And if you find that, I still want to speed up my recovery process a little bit, or you're training for something, those BCAAs are great to kind of like super punch everything and make sure your muscles are recovering optimally. You don't have to have like a ton of them a day. I have a container just by my desk, so when I just get tired of drinking water, I'll just throw a scoop inside of my Yeti cup and just sip on that just for a change of pace. But again, guys, it's good for your muscles, and it kind of skips that breakdown process that has to happen with food to go into the repair of your muscles, and it just kind of goes and almost skips a step and helps just repair them as is. It's not, that I don't have to eat protein anymore, or I can only have, lettuce every day. You still want to make sure that the majority of it is coming from food. But if you find that, hey, I need some more speed up time, I'm training for a marathon, or I just want to recover quicker, I'm busy, the BCAAs are there to help kind of fuel those muscles, keep them supercharged, and it just kind of helps keep your energy level even keel all day. So that way, if you do have to hit a workout 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week, you know that your muscles are primed and they're all basically ready to go.
I know a lot of people that have them kind of pre-workout, not necessarily, and during workouts for that
Yeah,
matter.
they're good for that too.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that they would take it as a pre-workout, but when they wake up in the morning, it's the first thing that they're having. Then they come and work out. It's usually morning people. And then they, go on with their day, have coffee, whatever. But they say that it's just, I don't know if they one woman in particular I'm thinking of, I don't know if she just doesn't love drinking water, plain water. So she's like, well, this is better. Or if it's actually it kind of, allows her to feel a little more primed and ready to move. Because like me personally, I'm not ready to move at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
When I do on occasion, when I have to work out early based on the day versus when I can work out in the evening, I feel my body feels much better. I feel like I perform, quote unquote, better in the afternoon, right? Like I'm
Your mind's
moving.
awake, your body's awake.
Right. In the morning, it's like I can get through a workout, and by the time it's done, I'll probably be feeling okay. But I'd feel a little creaky and tight and all of that stuff in the morning. Wouldn't be able to just go all the way, I feel like. But
I feel like I can never get to like the fourth gear sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I'm like going, but like I'm still kind of groggy, still kind of sleepy. And then it is by the end of it, you're woken up and you're like, okay, now we're good. But that
Right.
initial like 15, just kind of waking up your mind, waking up your body, it does help a lot. One of the biggest uh, tools that I use that you guys can steal this, and I think I might have mentioned it on here before, but in terms of hydration, guys, especially in the morning, the first thing that we do, we wake up, we're groggy, we're asleep, and we automatically either go right for the coffee pot or tea, and we go right for caffeine. And mind you, you've been asleep for 6, 7, 8 hours in a row. And so you got to remember, guys, you haven't been hydrating, you haven't been drinking anything. So if the first thing that you go to when you're already a little bit dehydrated is coffee, caffeine's a diuretic. That's going to make you run to the bathroom, makes you go pee. You're still not drinking water. And then you're like, okay, I'm still lethargic. I'll get another cup. And then you pee again. And then all of a sudden, you're just kind of like dehydrating yourself more and more. So if you are a coffee or caffeine drinker, one of the biggest tweaks is in the morning when you're making coffee or you have your Keurig, is just pour yourself like 2 tap glasses of water and slam them right when you wake up. It helps kind of just wake up your body. It gets everything hydrated again. If you guys want to get really crazy, you guys can even add, if you have like the pink Himalayan salt, like do a couple twist of that in there just so you get some minerals in your body again, so it helps hold on to that water. If you guys want a little like lemon juice on there, you can do it, but just it's kind of like your own natural hydration drink that you make first thing in the morning. And then if you want to switch to a little bit of caffeine, okay, my body, it's hydrated, it's got water in it. Now if I want to sip on some coffee, then I know that I'm kind of good to go. But you don't want to be the habitual coffee person, because all that does is it makes you crash and crash and crash and crash. And there's days, I mean, that I've done it just mindlessly. And then by like 1, 2 o'clock, I'm like, I am exhausted. What the hell's going on? And I'm like, I have not had a freaking drop of water
Yeah.
almost all day. And I usually do it in the wintertime when it's cold. Like you just want
It's
something warm,
comfortable.
you want something cozy. In the summertime, I usually don't do it, but you get stuck in that coffee mode just because it's cold outside, especially here where we live. It's like 10, 20 degrees. And kind of the last thing that sounds refreshing sometimes is an ice cold glass of tap water. But again, keep it room temp, 2 glasses full right when you wake up. You can do it when your coffee's brewing, and then you know when it's time to sip on some caffeine that then you're good to go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I think. Oh, and I talked about this before on the podcast too. Is we get if we start relying on energy drinks and caffeine and supplements and pre-workouts and BCAAs for energy boost, odds are we're just battling against dehydration. We're not battling against fatigue and sleepiness. We're battling against not enough hydration, right? So, um, yeah, like the people that will have 2 or 3 cups of coffee in the morning and then in the afternoon switch to energy drinks and they go all day and they go, oh, I'm just exhausted. It's like, well, you don't have water in your day at all.
Yeah.
You could get rid of more than half of this and replace it with water, and it's going to take a few weeks, or a few days to get hydrated, but it's going to take a few weeks to kind of get that in
Break
tune
the habit.
and feeling and break the habit. But you'll be surprised how less caffeine we need to rely on if we are hydrated properly, because we're all underhydrating. Because when we tell people, the reason I'm thinking about this is because the shred is just starting, but when we tell people how much water they should be drinking, it's always like, what? And it's mind blowing to start. And then after a week, they're like, oh, I'm peeing all the time. It's crazy. And then after a week, not even 4 days, it's just totally normal routine way of life. They come bringing their huge water jugs to the gym, and it's totally normal. And it's like, oh, I noticed my energy's up. Oh, I noticed things are better. I noticed, yeah, and my pants fit different. It's like you're taking care of your body is what this is, and that hydration is just as important as what you're eating. It's just as important as how you're moving. It's just as important as how you're sleeping, how you're managing stress, and everything else in between. All this other stuff that people need is so. Basically, the rule is, for me, the way I look at it is, there's no point of adding any type of extra aid or extra credit if I'm not doing the base anyway. right?
Yeah,
If I'm not hydrated, what's another coffee gonna do? I'll tell you what it does for me. It just makes me anxious. So
yeah.
it's like
I
I'd
get a
rather just
20-minute spike, and then I get anxious,
yeah,
lethargic, more tired, and then you're like,
yeah,
well, I guess I'll have another one. And then same
right.
thing, crash,
Later
more
it out.
anxious.
Yeah, you got, and then you hear about the freaks like Yamir Yager. Do you remember he used to have 8 cups of coffee a day?
Oh,
That
yeah,
was
he would
all
drink
he would.
Coke on the bench.
Yeah, that was all they would drink and do. And he's like, yeah, I have 8 cups of coffee a day, and I just play hockey. So it's like all he's doing is sweating and replenishing with coffee. How is he alive? And 65 years old and still playing professional hockey or whatever, whatever
Dude,
he.
he's the 1 in a million unicorn, though.
Yeah,
That
he's a.
anyone else did that, your heart would just shoot out of your body.
I
To
don't
skate at a
understand.
high level with
He just
nothing but caffeine pumping through your veins.
he just scored. I just saw a thing pop up a couple weeks ago of him scoring a professional goal. Now, obviously, it's not NHL; it's somewhere in
In Europe,
Russia or wherever. But It's a professional league, and I think how old is he? Do you know? Is he?
he's got to be 57, maybe.
Yeah, he's like getting
Come
close
on.
to 60. It's like that's unbelievable. I mean, he was in the NHL up until what, 5 years ago?
52 years old.
Oh wow, he's even younger than I thought.
Plays in the Czech Republic. But you think about how
But
much
still,
you
it's amazing.
sweat during our like beer league.
It's insane.
Imagine going at the professional level. I mean, you've
It's
seen like
insane.
the post game interviews, like they're like dripping.
Yeah.
And then imagine somebody gives you like a Pepsi or a Coke and you're just or a coffee and your iced
Yeah.
coffee and you're like, I don't want this.
This is the last thing I want is a coffee right now. Right.
The fountain
Right.
of youth. But that'll lead us into the next one perfectly. Pre-workouts. So not all pre-workouts are made the same. And I'll give you guys an example of this. If you go to the Core 4 supplement store, we have two. One is a natural pre-workout, which is a little bit dialed back, and we have an extreme pre-workout. And the extreme pre-workout, if you're doing like static state training, and you're just going to go, I'm just going to grab onto these two dumbbells, and I'm going to rip bicep curls, and then I'm going to do some bench presses, and then I'm going to do maybe some squats. It's good, but for high intensity interval training, I recommend people do not use the extreme one, use the natural one. I've made the mistake of flipping them up. Have you ever done it? Have you taken the extreme and then tried
Not
to do,
really. Not
oh,
really.
bad mistake. It, within like 5 minutes, your heart's just like when you're doing burpees and it's
Ugh.
already jacked up. So
Ugh.
the pre-workouts are good, guys, but make sure you're using the right one for the right type of training. And this podcast is a very like surface level of all of this. If you type in supplements, you will find hundreds of thousands of different brands, different types, different formulas. So we're just kind of speaking on a base level of what we have in our store and kind of just basically A and B. But if you go down the pipeline, you'll get lost in every single pre-workout. And they're all different. They all hit your body different. They all do different things. The goal is to get your energy level up, guys, to get you through a tough workout, or if you just kind of need to pick me up through your day. But for a lot of them, be conscious of the caffeine amount. Um, like I know, like an energy drink usually has 200 grams of caffeine. A cup of coffee has like 70, but some of these pre-workouts have like damn near 500 milligrams of caffeine, which is
Wow.
insanity.
I would
So if you
die.
think you can smash two energy drinks in a row and then try to go, let's say, run a 5K or go do a bunch of burpees, you're not going to have a good time. Your heart's just going to be pounding out of your chest and it's not going to be a fun experience. However, if you found another pre-workout that maybe had 150 or 200 milligrams of caffeine, that might be more tolerable for you. So if you are shopping pre-workouts, whether it's our store or anybody else, just make sure you're conscious of the caffeine content. Um, Also, make sure a lot of them have a little sticker on the back that'll say FDA approved, which means that It's safe. It's been regulated. The government, at least the Food and Drug Administration, has looked at it and they know that this is safe. And what a lot of companies do, not all of them, but they try to make a crazy supplement that might not be the healthiest thing for you, and they can make it in their basement, they can make it in their garage, they'll slap a fancy label on it, and they go, hey, we are going to pump this out like gangbusters, sell as much as we possibly can before the FDA comes down on us, and then when they do, we'll have to change our formula to something weaker. But in the meantime, we're going to try to get as much groundwork on the FDA as we can, sell as much as we can, so everybody likes our product. They buy it, even though it might not be the healthiest thing in the world. And then if we get popped, then we'll have to adjust the formula, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Right. All
Have you
publicity.
ever tried the original Jack 3D supplement?
No, I did NO Explode.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
That was
used to have that in the red tub.
that was my go-to, yeah.
Yeah, but kind of
God.
the same thing. So the original Jack 3D is like praised as like the holy grail of the best supplement ever created. You had energy, you felt like you were on cloud nine, and then everybody bought this thing. They were like, this is the best. This is the best pre workout ever. I feel amazing. And then they had to change their formula because it was unsafe. And then I think it might still exist, but it is like
It's
exponentially weaker.
yeah, there's no way it's the same crap.
No.
All of those companies. You know what else had a really good one that I did in college was C4, which now it's like in the energy drink game.
Yeah.
They're real popular actually. But it was a C4 pink lemonade flavored pre-workout, and I would take it and then go spend 3 hours in the gym at school at Saginaw Valley, and was like, yeah, that was, you'd get all itchy feeling, and you'd get all like, it wouldn't even be a buzz. You would just get itchy.
You just
Or
be pissed off and uncomfortable.
at least I would, and it was delicious. So it tasted good, and I would get fired up, and me and my roommate would just be idiots, just be like, "Oh, let's go," and then just not know what we're doing, just walk around a big gym that no kid needs. Um, but yeah, everything is so tapered down and changed now. But the the stuff you were talking about, or no, maybe it was a different stuff. There's stuff that's been literally banned, literally illegal, like considered an illegal drug. It's like Four Locos.
Ephedrine and stuff like that they used to put in there.
Yeah, remember Four Locos though?
Yeah, same thing.
It's like that. It's like, oh, we're gonna get away with this until we have to alter it, and then it's just gonna be a completely normal product. But we're still gonna make our name. Like
Yeah.
a Four Loco was the dumbest thing. I luckily never even messed around with them because I'm just not a fan. They never even sounded good to me.
Oh, baby. I had
God, they were crazy.
two when I went to Vegas when I was in my 20s,
Oh God.
and that is all a young man needed.
Oh, those things were nuts. What was it like?
It was like an insane amount of caffeine. I think it
300.
was like 12.5% alcohol.
Yeah.
So it
And
didn't even
300
taste good.
grams of
But they were
Vegas.
like $2.
Yeah.
And you were like, okay, I got a big ass can. I can milk this for an hour or two. And I know I can walk into the liquor store with $5, get 2 cans, and I'm set for the night.
Insane.
But couldn't pull that crap now. That'd be Hangover City. Could you imagine?
Dude, if I come close to one, if one of those is in the same room as me, I'll be hungover the next day.
I know.
We're
And
gonna
you
have
smell it, and it just smells like malt liquor, you know? You're like, I don't want to drink this.
no. God, I can picture the packaging. Is it still around?
Yeah, it's still around, but they did the same thing. They had to like dramatically decrease the caffeine amount.
Oh yeah.
They had to
it's
take
not
a lot of the crap that they put in there.
for sure.
And it kind of just fizzled out. I think it still exists, but it's like 10 times weaker than what it is.
I'm gonna go up with the boys this
Yeah,
hockey season with a bunch of Four Locos.
just show up. They were out of beer, so I got 24 Four Locos for us. Two apiece.
That'd be good.
But what else, guys? The other one, in terms of the itchiness, there is something inside of your pre-workouts, not all of them, but a lot of people that take them don't like this sensation. I'm going to tell you what it is. There's something called beta alanine that's inside of pre-workouts that causes that itchy feeling on your skin.
Yeah.
And now it's in energy drinks sometimes too. So like the C4 ones have it in there. So if you ever look at something and it says beta alanine on the can somewhere, you know that you're going to get, yes, some caffeine. It's an energy drink. But if you don't like that itchy sensation, I thought I was dying like a month ago because Hallie, for dinner one night, we had like chicken breast, little chicken breast, and I had 3.5 of them. And ate them, had some broccoli, and then I got like itchy. And I was like, am I allergic to something? Maybe it's a seasoning. And I was like, and then it just kind of fizzled out. And I was like, okay, that was weird. Next time we had chicken, same thing happened. And so I'm like, it has to be the seasoning. And then looked it up like on Google, does chicken make you itchy? And then sure as shit, chicken has a ton of the beta alanine in it. And if you're eating like just that, at least to start on an empty stomach, it'll just kind of kickstart that thing. So whatever reason, I'm like really sensitive to that beta alanine stuff now. It's not like you have like hives like poison ivy. You just have this like tingly skin feeling.
Yeah.
Some people don't mind it. Some say it gets them going. But if you don't like that stuff, make sure whether you're taking a pre-workout, energy drink, whatever it is, that the beta alanine is not in there. And if you can tolerate it, then go for it. It doesn't do anything necessarily bad for you. It makes your skin kind of flushed. There was a day we were at the gym, and I took a pre-workout, and it had beta alanine in it. So you get done with your workout, and I was just cleaning up or something, and like mindlessly, I was just cleaning around the gym and like itching myself without like thinking. So this person comes in the gym, and I have like all these red claw marks all over my face. I'm like, she probably thought I was completely tweaked out, but
You were
nope,
though.
just itchy from
On that
exercise.
Tweaking on that pre.
Teaking on that pre baby. But what else, peoples? I think that is all. You got anything, every boy? This was a good one.
No, this was informative to me because like I said, I'm always honest about it. When people ask me about our supplements and stuff, I tell them what I do know, and then they go, "Have you tried it?" And I go, "No, not really. No, I don't." So it's interesting to learn. I liked. It was interesting, and definitely C4 uses that stuff because I remember way back in the college days that would be the symptoms from the pre-workout that I don't even know if they still make anymore. You had an energy drink, it had that, so they're a big beta. What is it? Beta alanine.
Beta alanine is the itchy chemical or
They're
itchy whatever it is.
big beta alanine guys over there at C4.
They love to make you itch.
They love to make you itch.
The itchy company.
I thought it was a good one though. I appreciate the knowledge. I'll have more to go forward with now.
No problems.
And then yeah, I guess just the extra credit mindset, Don't rely on it. Don't rely on supplements. Don't let them get carried away and take over your life. Think of it as your extra credit. If you want to be a straight A student and you have a B, it can get you there. But if you're just happy with getting a B, you'll also be okay. You don't need it to survive. You don't need it to be healthy. You need the other stuff to be healthy and to survive. So focus more on that, especially like if you're starting. It'd be like starting in a gym and being like, well, I got to go to Lululemon or Alo or whatever it's called and get thousands of dollars of workout gear so I can start. It's like, no, you need a t-shirt that you wore, 25 years ago with holes in it, and you need to go outside. That's step one.
Yeah.
So
start simple.
Yeah.
Well, that's all, peoples. I like the extra credit example. That's a perfect way to put it. You don't just do the extra credit. You do the tests, and then if you want the extra credit at the end,
right,
then that's what it's there for.
Yeah, if you just do the extra credit, you're going to fail.
You're still going to get an F.
Yep.
But if you guys do need any supplements, either what we talked about on the podcast today or anything at all in general, head to core4supplements.com. We have everything that we talked about in this podcast and more. We got the pre-workouts, the extreme one, the natural one. We have whey protein. We have vegan protein. We got BCAAs. We got the hydration supplement on there. We have energy gummies, pretty much everything that you need we have in store. And if you listen to the podcast or watch the podcast, if you use the code word podcast at the checkout, you'll save 10% off of everything and you get free shipping if you spend over $100. So again, core4supplements.com, get whatever you guys need, save 10% with podcasts, and get free shipping if you spend over 100 smackaroos. But that is all today, peoples.
Yeah, buddy. Let's get some
Have a good Wednesday, and we'll see you guys all next week. Bye.
It's not working. Bye-bye.